That case is now raising questions about when the Stand Your Ground law is applicable. ABC 7's Kate Flexter joins us now with a legal look at this case and how it could set a precedent for future cases. Kate?
Thanks, Scott. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not that person believes their life was threatened. And as we found out today, that may leave room for interpretation.
Do you regret what happened?
At 74 years old, retired Tampa cop Curtis Reeves faces charges of murder for shooting and killing a man following an argument in a movie theater. The defense arguing Reeves was in poor health, felt threatened, and was simply standing his ground.
He reasonably believed that the threat was imminent and that using deadly force was necessary.
The Stand Your Ground law allows people to use deadly force when they fear death or great bodily harm. Criminal defense attorney Jeff Young says that does leave some room for interpretation.
It is sort of what they call a subjective view. In other words, it's in the mind of the shooter as to whether they are in reasonable fear.
But he says the law needs that flexibility since each case comes with unique circumstances.
The dark room, the age of the people, the size of the people, you have to look at all of it and determine on a case-by-case basis, was that person in reasonable fear to where they needed to use that force.
For Carol Resigno, president of the Sarasota chapter for the Brady campaign to prevent gun violence,
threatened is such a wide-ranging word.
Her concern is the law leaves too much room for interpretation.
He could have yelled at him, punched him, asked other people to help him out. But when you have a gun in that setting at all, the gun can get used.
Some worry if Reeves successfully uses the Stand Your Ground defense, it could set the precedent for future cases. But Young says that's unlikely.
Could they open up a Pandora's box of, well, now everybody's going to be shooting a gun because they get a dirty look? I mean, that's always going to be the argument from the other side, but that's why the law puts the power in the hands of the judge to determine all of those facts and figure out whether it was reasonable or not.
This comes as the State House is considering shifting the burden of proof in Stand Your Ground cases from the person who pulled the trigger instead to the prosecution. Back to you guys.